here that has them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's call the meeting of September 3rd, 2024, the Pipestone City Council to order, please. Could I have a roll call?
Mayor Delaney,
Here.
Councilmember Schmidt,
Here.
Councilmember Thompson,
Here.
Councilmember Swanson,
Here.
and Councilmember Colbeck.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the agenda. Is there any additions, changes, or deletions to the agenda as it was presented? Any changes by any council members? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no, and motion carries. Thank you. Next up is the consent agenda. The consent agenda contains the following items for approval: the August 19th regular meeting minutes, the payment of claims, and listing of bills. And I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move we accept the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no, and motion carries. Thank you. Community concerns. Do we have anyone for community concerns, Deb?
No one has signed in and I haven't received any phone calls or any emails. So.
Okay, well, thank you. We'll move on to engineering then. The 2023 Street and Utility Improvement Project, pay request number 10, and the pay request is for the 23 Street and Utility Improvement Project. Holstein Excavating Incorporating is requesting $1,159,581.40 for work completed on the project. And we'll have a presentation from our engineer at this point, so I'll turn it over to you. Go ahead.
Presentation.
Well, or at least just explain.
Well, as you can probably see, they paved most of Main Street here. Got all the main line done and they're working on intersections right now. The brunt of this payoff is that concrete pavement for their run there. It's substantial. And now they'll just be finishing up intersections and then driveways. They've been working on that the last few days here on both ends of the holiday weekend. And hopefully they're going to be getting another crew as well, so that goes a little faster here. It's been a slow process, kind of all the little odds and ends that need to be paved, but they're coming along and are hoping to wrap up in 2 to 3 weeks with the paving. It's not the timeline we were hoping for, but they're getting close.
Okay. And it seems like this is probably the majority of the work is done, wouldn't you say?
Yep, the brunt of it. That's where, yeah, a lot of this is going to be smaller, just more tedious stuff.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Any questions from the council? I think it looks good. I've been out there myself a couple of times and heard some good comments from the public, and real pleased with the work from the contractor, and engineering has done a great job on it too. So thank you for your work too.
Also, another just little note there, they did kind of open up the east end
Okay.
down to Sturvance there.
Right.
So yeah, at least we can get traffic in there, and that helped out the gas station and everything there as well.
Yeah.
Just trying to accommodate businesses along there.
Okay. So it shouldn't be much longer. We'll have those intersections open, shouldn't we, at 7th and 6th?
Yes, they'll be finishing up 6th Ave intersection today, or excuse me, this week. They worked on it today. And then we'll have another week after that before we get traffic on it.
Okay. All right.
Probably at that 2 weeks from now.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a long process, but it was certainly something that was needed. The infrastructure underneath is what no one sees, and that's what had to be replaced. I mean, it's just when you have lead pipes in 2024 providing water, that's not a good thing. And we had to get rid of those lead pipes, and then we had to also get rid of the tile for the sanitary sewer because we had so much water infiltration coming in there too. So big project, but it's certainly coming together well, and again, it'll be nice when it's all finished. And I appreciate the patience from the public too, because it is a huge inconvenience when you have your main street closed off. And that's been the majority of the summer, and we're into September already. So hopefully we'll be back to normal here by the end of September, the way it sounds. We're pretty darn close to it. So thank you. Okay, so I'd entertain a motion for the pay request.
I'll move, the pay request number 10, for the Holstein excavating in the amount of, $1,159,581.40.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no, and motion carries. Thank you. New business, resolution 2024-50. And this is a resolution accepting donations, which is a good thing. And retired Dr. Larry Christensen has donated $500 for the Ewert Recreational Center baseball and softball programs. So I'd entertain a motion to accept that donation.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no, and motion carries. And I'd like to personally thank, on behalf of the council, Dr. Christensen for his very generous donation. Next up is request for council action, and that's from the Friends of the Casey Jones Trail Association. They're requesting 6 picnic tables and 4 garbage totes with the fees waived for the ribbon cutting event at the Casey Jones State Trail on Sunday, September 8th at 2 p.m. Attendees will be riding from Woodstock to Pipestone, and all registered bikers will enjoy free hamburgers and hot dogs at the trailhead in Pipestone. And Deb, did you have anything you wanted to add to that, or?
It's a full, complete 10-mile trip from Pipestone to Woodstock now, completely paved. And so they're going to have the ribbon cutting at Woodstock on that end, like we did in Pipestone when we started. And then they're going to have attendees can just ride from Woodstock to Pipestone and enjoy lunch afterwards. Just
So that's
exciting.
for bicycles, so leave my horse at home.
No, it is for horse trail.
Oh, you kidding? Okay.
It's a multi-use trail, dual
Okay.
tread.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just non-motorized.
Well, if you haven't been out on that trail, it's a wonderful scenic trail all the way to Woodstock. I know I see a lot of people out there just enjoying the nice weather, a good place to get some exercise, and people walk the trail, people ride their bicycles on the trail. Like Deb said, there is a horse trail beside the paved area that's used quite frequently too. And yeah, we're just very fortunate to have such a nice amenity right here connected in Pipestone. So
We do have, in the next bonding bill session, it was in this session as well, we want to rehabilitate the horse trail
oh,
and
okay.
do some repair work along the
Yeah.
trail.
Couple of badger holes in
Yep.
there you got to watch out for.
Right.
But
Yep.
yeah, okay.
So
All right. Well, good. Well, thank you very much for that. And I'd entertain a motion to approve this request.
So move. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no, and motion carries. Next up is consider amendments to the capitalization policy. And Deb, I'll turn this over to you. I went through that, and I thought, yeah, we're going to need further explanation on
Yeah.
this. So,
Thank you. We had our attorneys look at some of our policies. They need to be quite updated. And one of them being the capitalization policy, which deals with capitalizing and depreciation. And we upped it from $2,500 to $10,000. It's with the expense, everything's getting so expensive, you really can't, it's not worth buying something for $5,000 and depreciate it for 3 years. So up that, most cities, larger cities have upped theirs to 10,000. And in talking with the auditors, they were totally on board with making this adjustment.
okay. And that's probably the biggest change in it from our
Right,
current policy.
it is,
Just
yes.
the dollar amount.
It's just the dollar amount.
On the
Yep.
increase, so.
Yep.
Just to stay in line with inflation over the years. And can you tell us when the last time this was updated, or would we
Yes,
have
I
that
can. Yep,
information?
I do have that information. It was last updated back in Well, I had it. I believe it was 2014.
Okay.
It's been quite a few years.
So
that-
10 years plus, so it's
Yeah.
time to look at it again. Expenses have went up and depreciating, things like that. It's a good idea just to, for the accounting purposes. So, okay,
Yeah, that was the last time it was actually put together by Lene and Jeff.
okay. Any questions on that? I'd entertain a motion to approve the amendments to the capitalization policy.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no, and motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we need to schedule our truth and taxation meeting and following mailing of 2025 proposed tax estimates with the city's proposed levy increase, the city is requiring to hold a public meeting where budget and tax issues are discussed and where public testimony is allowed prior to adopting its final levy in December. Typically, the city holds its truth and taxation meeting during the first meeting in December. To set the meeting date for December 2nd, 2024, 6:30 PM in City Hall, we would need a motion, so I'd entertain a motion for that at this time.
I'll make the motion to set the meeting for December 2nd at 6:30.
Second.
And that would be at City Hall here, at our
Correct.
regular meeting.
At the regular meeting, yes.
So we have a motion on the floor that has been seconded. Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no, and motion carries. So then I need to read in the following statement for the record. The Pipestone City Council will hold a public meeting to discuss the 2025 levy and budget and hear public testimony on December 2nd at 6:30 PM in the City Council chambers at 119 2nd Avenue Southwest, Pipestone, Minnesota. The council will then plan to set the final 2025 levy and budget at their regular council meeting at 6:30 PM on December 16th in the council chambers. Anyone having questions regarding the 2025 levy or budget should contact the city administrator at 507-825-3324. And also, written comments will be taken and they can be sent to 119 2nd Avenue Southwest, Pipestone, Minnesota, 56164. And that address again is 119 2nd Avenue Southwest, Pipestone, Minnesota, 56164. Or you can call Deb, the city administrator, directly at 507-825-3324. Scheduling the public hearing for proposed assessments of unpaid municipal services and/or utilities, council will need to schedule October 21st, 2024 at approximately 6:30 PM as the date for the public hearing for unpaid municipal services and/or municipal utilities is done annually. So I would need another motion to approve scheduling the public hearing for proposed assessment of unpaid municipal services and/or utilities. And we'd like to have that October 21st. Entertain a motion.
So move. Second.
So it's been moved and seconded to set that for October 21st at 6:30 PM. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no, and motion carries. Thank you. Consider sanitary sewer agreement with the Darwin Hurd estate. And Darwin Hurd's estate is looking into tying into the city's sanitary sewer main and has been working with the Utility Commission on an agreement that Attorney Hill has drafted. Details of the agreement are provided in the council packet. So I hope everybody had a chance to read through that. And that's been approved by our city attorney, Jason Hill. And any questions, concerns, or I'd entertain a motion to approve that agreement.
I move we approve the agreement for the sanitary sewer agreement with the Darhurd estate. I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I'm going to abstain from voting on that.
And Roger will be abstaining. So any questions or concerns? And I think it's for the benefit of the public in general to have that sanitary sewer hook up and where that eliminates one less private sewer, I guess, in our city limits, which we don't want to have. We want to have everything under one umbrella and taken care of correctly. So, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. And motion carries 4 with 1 abstain. Next up is closing comments. And does anyone have any closing comments?
I do.
Okay, go ahead,
So
Bertie.
Thursday evening is the last car cruising for the summer. And the veterans committee is going to be serving burgers and hot dogs at that. So come and enjoy some cars and have supper.
That sounds like a good time. And yeah, I got to get up to that one because I missed the last couple. So the last one of the year. I don't know what happened to summer. Sure went quick.
Too fast.
Yeah. Why does January, February, and March drag on forever, but June, July, and August disappear in a flash of an eye, you know? Yeah. So anyway, okay. I got one comment too. I had a concerned citizen. He's very concerned about the traffic flow over in front of the new library there on 3rd Avenue. And he would like to see some study done or at least consideration for stop signs at 3rd Avenue Southeast and 2nd Street Southeast. And we did put up a additional stop sign
Did
at
his,
3rd,
That's a third.
is it only at
at
third?
3rd Street and 3rd Avenue just recently.
Okay.
And that helped, but he said he's very concerned about traffic flow once Main Street opens up. And it seems like there's a lot of people that are moving quite quickly through that area. And I think it has something to do with, you know, trying to dodge around through the road construction and stuff. But he's concerned about children playing. And we'd like to pass that information on to the sheriff's office. This came in late to me this afternoon. So Deb, if you could pass that on
Hmm.
to the sheriff's office, and if they could put up their temporary speed sign, maybe in that area, or some extra patrol, however they want to handle it. But we do have an issue in that area, and we'll have to address it further and see if it warrants, you know, putting up a regulatory sign like a stop sign to slow traffic isn't the reason to put those things up. But it does work quite effectively. So we'll have to look into that a little further and see what the recommendations are. So.
I did receive a, later today too, with the bus stop. Now they've changed the bus stop to over by the library. And so there was concern of the traffic flow and maybe position some signs that, you know, this
Okay,
is a
well,
bus
that all
stop.
ties in together
Yeah,
then.
then
'Cause
it does, yes.
yeah, I was unaware of that, where they've changed the bus stop there, so,
I just found out late today.
okay,
So I have a map. I'll send it to all of you but
All
I'll
right.
let the law enforcement, but it was a spot where maybe there could be 4 signs put up that, you know, this is a bus stop and
yeah.
kids
Maybe
that
we should
play.
get a recommendation from our engineer with all these changes coming up
Okay.
and see what type of regulatory signs we should have in that area.
Take a look at that.
Okay, that'd be great.
I'll get it sent to you and Travis,
Yeah.
Derek, as well.
And we just want to see safe driving by the public and safety of pedestrians in that area, because there's a lot more people in that area with, you know, the public library there too now, so. Okay, any other closing comments? None. Okay, let's go ahead with, recommend a motion for adjournment then.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. And motion carries. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you all next time.
I'm gonna watch volleyball.
Oh, there you go.
Now you can